Tony's Topics. I'm back. What's happening, folks? Welcome to Tony's Topics. My name is Tony, and these are my topics. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, right? So I'm like, what to discuss? So much has happened since I've done my last video. I mean, a guy gets shot in the back by a police officer who then plants evidence. Wow. I saw a horse thief get beat down by like 11 officers. Wow, the new Rodney King video. And last but not least, the playoffs have started. Woohoo! So what do I want to talk about? Well, I guess since the first Tony's Topics was about basketball, we'll start it back up with basketball. You know, I mean, want to stay with the current events and stuff. Okay, so like I know the playoffs have already begun, right? But I'm going to tell you what I was going to pick anyway and why. But okay, but the beauty is just watching the playoffs because the level of basketball is just so much better. All right, so first starting up, Golden State versus the Pelicans. Everybody knew this was a blowout. I mean, honestly, I would be surprised if the Golden State loses one game. I really would be surprised if the Pelicans can win just one game. Because, I mean, the Pelicans limped in just over OKC, whereas Golden State's had the best record all year. And the truth is, I'm still a little suspect about the way Kerr coaches that team because he still doesn't rely on Maurice Spites or David Lee enough. I don't believe, especially when Maurice Spites gets like 20 points every game he gets to play in. Where if he gets 20 minutes of play, Maurice Spites gets 20 points and rebounds. So I just don't know what's with Kerr not playing that guy more. But either way it goes, honestly. And that's the real killer of how strong Golden State is. They beat the Pelicans and didn't use David Lee and didn't use Maurice Spites. Oh my gosh. So that one pretty much wraps that up. It's a wash. Okay, the next matchup, Portland versus Memphis. Initially, who would I have called? I would have wanted to say Portland, but Portland kind of fell off. And, I learned last year never to second-guess Portland after how they just smashed the Rockets, because I thought that was going to be a close matchup, and the Rockets struggled just to get 2 wins. I mean, it was a massacre. So anyway, so I want to say Portland, but then Wesley Matthews got hurt. LaMarcus Aldridge had his finger hurt. And then I even found out a fellow got injured. So it turns out like Portland's got all these injuries or whatever. Either way it goes, I would still say Portland's still got some of the best big men around between, for a collection of big men between Chris Kaman, Miles Leonard, Robin Lopez, and then finally the big man himself, LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm like, they've got the front court. Now the back court with Damian Lillard, and I was hoping CJ McCollum was going to rise to the challenge, but clearly he did not in that first game, which was an absolute blowout. Oh my gosh, the defense on Portland was terrible. Memphis ran all over us. I thought Damian Lillard was going to win the matchup against Mike Conley, but Mike Conley was just kind of tooling him, so. Yeah, I guess initially I probably would have picked Memphis because Memphis did so well at the season. At the same time, I probably wouldn't have been able to bet against Portland. I don't know. I might not have picked anyone for this matchup. But now, after that first game, it's clear Memphis is going to take this one. So, now, do I think Memphis is going to get much further? Nah. And people were saying they did it before with the Clippers. They did it before with the Spurs. The teams are a lot deeper this year. Memphis is a little, I don't know, it just seems like Memphis is a little lacking to take it all. Because, bottom line, if you're not going to take it all, what are you doing? So do I really see Memphis taking it all over teams like Golden State, Atlanta, Cleveland, even the Spurs? Nah. No, not the Clippers either. No. So there we go. Oh, and by the way, since I'm about to wrap this up, right? I don't understand. Now the West is better than the East as far as coming up on who's got the most loaded teams or whatever, right? Or great teams. But to say that every West team can win the championship, let's be real. Seriously, with the way teams have been playing, everybody knows Dallas doesn't have a chance to win this whole thing. It'll be amazing if Dallas wins one series, and it doesn't look like it. But anyway, no, nobody expects Dallas to win this whole thing. Nobody expects the Pelicans to win this whole thing. Portland was floundering and ended up only getting 51 wins. Now, I know there must have been some kind of ruling call because it didn't affect their placing or whatever, but the bottom line is I wouldn't put Portland on winning the whole thing, especially after losing Wesley Matthews, because that was really a blow for them. And then so finally, now the other teams, Golden State, the Clippers, the Spurs, who else? Golden State, Clippers, Spurs, Memphis, and the Rockets. Those teams I could see. The Rockets are deep. Golden State's extremely deep. The Spurs have always been deep. The Clippers are extremely talented and very deep. And then, I mean, yeah, and then I could see the other 5 teams pulling it. But as far as those bottom 3, no, not really. Not really. Either way it goes, that's my time, that's my topics.